the same day. You're completely asleep.
You are asleep.
Yes,
that was going to be my question.
Asleep.
Are you awake? Are you asleep?
Some people request to be awake, but nowadays we really just put patients to sleep for their comfort. Sometimes when you're moving around parts of the colon, it can be a little uncomfortable. So they're asleep. When they wake up, they don't feel like they've been violated. They don't feel like they've had a colonoscopy. 9 times out of 10, my patients wake up and they say, "Well, when are we going to get started, doc?" And I'm like, "You're already done." So it's a necessary test, and it's something that if your primary care physician is not advocating, you need to advocate for yourself. Patients need to ask for this test.
And what would be the bare minimum age you would suggest that anyone would go with or without family history?
The average that's an average risk patient. An average risk patient without a family history of colon cancer, without any genetic predisposition to having colon cancer or rectal cancer, and without any signs and symptoms, the initial age should be 45. Hands down, 45 years of age in the African American population, you need to go ahead and go get your screening colonoscopy. All bets are off if there's any other problems in terms of symptoms, signs, then you need to go and get your screening done right then and there.
Now, you had mentioned bloating, and sometimes we do say, it could be that time of the month, or I might have eaten something, but if it's consistently happening.
Yes, if it's something that's consistent, every now and then we all have fun with our diet. Every now and then we all eat the foods that we're not supposed to eat. And if you do experience some of those symptoms, and they go away, but this is something that's constantly occurring. This is something that you're seeing on a more frequent basis. This is something that you're recognizing that is a problem, and it hasn't changed. I'm not talking about the one episode where you're straining, you have a little bit of blood on the tissue, and you never see anything again. But there are people who are noticing blood in their stool.
Oh gosh,
they're noticing that the stools are smaller. They're losing weight. Their appetite has changed. Things of that nature is what should be alarmed. And most people kind of know when they need to come in, but they may be afraid.
And we're going to talk about that in the next segment, a couple of tips on, steps to actually get yourself comfortable. You can come in and go see Dr. Lynn. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Dr. Lynn O'Connor. So Dr. Lynn, when you want to come in and get yourself checked out, before we even get to where you're located and all that good stuff, what are some things we could do at home? Basic things that could help us out.
Well, prevention is key. So, make some of the things that are going to be very important are eating right. We need a good high fiber diet, more fruits, more vegetables, more water, because that gives you a thicker, bulkier stool that's going to pass through. Stay away from the fried fatty foods, the junk foods. That's not going to help you. Exercise. We are not getting enough exercise even as a country. The obesity epidemic is out of control. We're sitting more, we're more sedentary, we're on our tablets, we're on our smartphones. The kids are playing video games, They're not getting out, and they're not running. So diet, exercise, avoiding smoking, that's something. Just put the cigarettes down. These are things that can predispose a patient to having more risk factors for colon cancer. And moderation. I mean, everyone's going to have a glass of wine or a beer or a mixed drink every now and then, but do things in moderation. That's going to be very important. So with your screening colonoscopies, adjusting the diet, exercise, eating right, living a healthy lifestyle, and some of the vices just, in moderation, that's going to go a long way in terms of keeping you healthy.
And is it a myth or a fact that eating eating meat, I've heard people say eating meat is almost a direct correlation, or eating fried foods is a direct correlation that could, over time, lead to that? And I don't eat meat, but I certainly don't advocate to say that I'm not predisposed to anything, because sometimes the healthiest people who are in the gym, who don't smoke, they're the ones who you see getting all the problems sometimes. But from a medical standpoint, does that make, if you examine the colon of someone who's a regular vegetarian or even a vegan and then someone who is eating meat, clearly there's going to be a difference.
No, not necessarily.
Really?
When you're looking at a colon that's been properly prepped and cleaned out, you're going to see the normal healthy tissue unless there's a polyp, or if a patient is abusing laxatives, then you'll see something that we call melanosis coli, where the colon becomes a little bit darkened. The problem with eating meats all of the time is that it's a little difficult to digest, and the problem lies in the meats that are high in nitrates. The nitrates are thought to be carcinogenic. So if you're having a sausage once in a while, you're having bacon once in a while, but if your diet is just full of fried fatty foods, lots of meats, processed foods, nitrates, that's what's really going to be a problem. So if you're having a burger every now and then, it's fine. Everything has to be done in moderation and balance, because if you make people eat a certain way all the time, no one's going to adhere to that diet. But if you're incorporating fruits, if you're incorporating vegetables, if you're incorporating fiber, and it's not hard to do. If you're going to have a pizza, have a whole wheat slice. If you're going to have bread, try to have whole grain bread. If you're going to have a bagel, which we're in New York, we have bagels, opt for a whole grain bagel. There's quinoa, there's couscous, there's so many different grains, there's so many fruits and vegetables that we have. And the problem is we're not getting enough water. The caffeinated beverages, the carbonated beverages, the alcoholic beverages, that doesn't count toward our water content. It actually takes away. So it's important to get more water in the diet as well too. Soda's an absolute no. There's really no reason to have it. Once again, moderation. But there's no one absolute food you should never have. But the thing is, it's going to be important to have a balance. But if your diet, if you're going to McDonald's every night, you're going to Wendy's every night, you're going to Burger King, you're going to have a problem. And that's not what we advocate.
And I know we're speaking offline. You were saying that you've done a surgery that lasted, this was years ago, but 18-hour surgery?
That's when I was a resident, yeah. That was a long time ago, and it was a head and neck surgery. So when you're a resident and you're training, you learn all the different areas of general surgery, and you subspecialize as well too. And that's actually what gave me the exposure to colorectal surgery. So,
but an average surgery when you're doing a cancer surgery is?
It all depends. It all depends. No patient's average and no surgery's average. It all depends on the patient's body habitus. So once again, we're looking at patients that are a little bit more obese. It's going to be a little difficult surgery. It may be a little bit more difficult recovery. Then with narrow pelvises, that can be a little bit more difficult as well too. So and the recovery time. If you're eating right, you're exercising, you're healthy going into surgery, it's just going to make it a lot easier when you're coming out of surgery. So those are the things that are going to be important when you look at someone who is facing a colon cancer and who may have to have surgery. And I operate out of 3 different hospitals. Each of my hospitals are equipped with laparoscopic equipment, and laparoscopic surgery has come a long way. You have a shorter hospitalization stay, quicker recovery, better cosmetic result. Patients are eating in their home 3 to 5 days, if that.
Wow, that is amazing. Where are you located? How can we get in contact with you? Because this personalized care that you really do, and I can see that you love this and that you will give individual attention to everybody. So how do we reach out to you? I absolutely do, and will. My patients mean everything to me. You can find me on Facebook at Lynn O'Connor, MD. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. My website is www.lynnoconnormd.com. I work out of Pro Healthcare Associates, and I have 2 offices. One in Lake Success, New Hyde Park, and I have one in Huntington, Long Island. And I go to various surgery centers, but it's very easy to find me. 516-608-6848 is my Lake Success office, and 631-423-5070 is my Huntington office. You can also find me on Pro Healthcare Associates website, but if you just look for Lynn O'Connor, MD, that's where you'll find me. And spell that out.
LYNNOCONNORMD.com.
That is amazing. I mean, This has been a great segment. We're definitely going to have you back for part 2 because you kind of want to dive in a little bit more. But colon cancer, like you said, it's a high rate.
The most important thing for patients to remember is that this is something that is preventable, it's curable, it's beatable. But they're the ones who are going to have to make sure that they take their health in their own hands, eating right, exercising, getting your screening colonoscopy, and following up with your primary care physician. And if there's any questions at all, again, you can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's LynnO'ConnorMD.com.
Dr. Lynn, thank you so much. This has been super informative, and I think everyone at home is definitely going to enjoy, learning more about this. And this is information that everybody could take away. And I'm sure you're going to want to go and schedule your appointment, get your colonoscopies, and just check out your page. You have so much information on the website. So be great, and we're looking forward to having you back.
Thank you.
All right, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at jean@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.